when I turn on the TV, it's like all English channels, and I would just feel like I was in this completely foreign world or another planet.
What human beings don't realize out there in the general public is the number of immigrant students and the number of those who speak English as a second language is not going to go away. It's only going to get greater.
When I first arrived, to be an immigrant, I feel kind of lonely.
But I imagine the people here a lot nicer and a lot more friendly.
And I have no friend at all for the whole year.
Some of the Caucasians pointed at me and said, "So you're the one? You're the new one? Why you came here?"
People talk another way, behave another way. You don't know how to talk to them, you don't know how to communicate with them, and you're afraid to talk to them.
Your mood kind of goes down because you can't be yourself, because you can't express yourself in the form that you wanted to.
Well, these immigrants have come to Canada. They are without the support of their friends at home. They are, in essence, isolated linguistically. They're in a situation where all those problems related to being a teenager, being an adolescent, are compounded by being isolated by language. So it's a very difficult problem.
In ESL level 2, it was so challenging, and I got very pressured. At the same time, I don't have any friends in school because I'm very shy at that time. It's just hard for me to make friends, and until right now, I don't know why. I lose a lot of weight at that time, so I was just soon noticed by my counselor, and she asked me to go to an emergency check. They just ordered me in the hospital, and they just know scientifically what I am, but they don't know what's really in my heart.
It's very difficult to ask a question for personal reasons. Everybody has this problem. You don't want to sound stupid. But then it's even more difficult for an English as a second language person because they're embarrassed by the fact, potentially, that their language is not up to par.
I was in my math class probably 3-4 months after I came to Canada, and I wanted to go to the washroom. I went up to my teacher after probably having to hold it in for the whole class because I didn't want to interrupt, because I was going to make a fool out of myself because I couldn't make full sentences to begin with. I go up, I was like, "Can I go washroom?" And he says something just looking at me. Before I know it, I'm crying in front of the whole class. And everybody's just looking at me because they understand what the teacher's saying. They understand what I want. He just nods and says, "Go." I go, and I just sit in the washroom for the rest of the class, just crying. Because I don't want to go back to a full class of students who just saw me cry because I had to go to the washroom. And I just sit there until the bell goes off. I go back to pack my stuff, and he has a note in his hand. And it was actually an apology note saying that I'm sorry to belittle you like that in front of the whole class and not taking that immigration factor into account. And what basically he was saying is, instead of saying, "Can I go washroom?" he kept asking, "I don't know, can you?" As in, you have to say, "May I go to the washroom?"
I'm convinced that it is important for Canada as a society really to focus on the success of immigrants.
I think we need to make our circle. Are we making a circle or what? We need to make our circle. This is my circle after all.
So, if I had to say how has my Circle in Action team helped me out in my personal life, I would say it gave me ginormous amounts of self-confidence and self-empowerment.
First, I think that's I'm the only miserable one, but when I came here, I found that actually there are many more people who are even worse than me. So I feel kind of relieved.
I built up my backbone again. I built up the backbone of my character, and I was able to stand up as a person. I was able to
be furry that I like, not the furry that everybody else likes.
Whole day you put on this mask and you try to fit in the school through the environment that you're in, and then come to my circle and it's just like be as silly as you possibly can be and be yourself and stutter all the way through the meeting, and still you're accepted and loved for who you are, and that's a major thing when you think about it for a 15-year-old.
One of the most important things that's lacking in this society, in this community, in this government, is the lack of funding for programs for newcomer and refugee youth. No immigrant is coming to Canada in the hope of getting welfare. Nobody is coming here to be an extra person in the community. We all want to contribute, no matter what skin color we are. We all are humans, and we all deserve the same opportunity.
Canada is really related to how well we treat immigrant students. And at this point, we as a society, especially in schools, are not doing a very good job. And I hope to see that we do a better job.